Remind me again, what is sort of the primary constituent of most organic compounds? What is the basic underlying skeleton on which organic compounds are built? Yeah. Carbon and hydrogen, right? And carbon and hydrogen, again, are a logical backbone on which to build complex three-dimensional models because carbon makes 4 bonds when it's sp3 hybridized, which means that it can grow out in 3 dimensions at angles of 109.5, and that lends itself to big complex shapes, right? But of course, if you just kept connecting carbons, you would just get graphite or graphene or diamond or coal, right? You have to constrain it to make interesting forms. So you need something that acts as sort of a cap or a stop. And hydrogen is naturally abundant, and it only makes 1 bond. So it is logical that that is what we find as the structure of organic compounds. Does that make sense? Yes, Mr. Orlando, that makes sense. Oh, cool. Thanks. I don't know. Is it? Oh, it is. Yeah. Sorry about that. We'll change that later. Oh, right, because I gave you an independent lesson to start with, didn't I? Mm-hmm. That's right. I forgot. Alcohols, aldehydes, and ketones. Today, we're going to look at other things we can add as substitutions to an alkane that will provide function. All right? So today, we will learn about 3 functional groups. Will. Will. It's W-I-L-L, so it's ketones? Will. Ketones. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like that. I can't help myself. Yeah, ketones. We'll get there. I'm sorry. This is why people don't like me. This is why I can't have nice things. And when we talk about a functional group, what we mean is an addition to the alkyl chain that provides it some kind of function. And don't forget, function is a matter of 2 things, really. Form is function, right? You could get the best Damascus steel in the world, but if you just get it as a big lump, it's going to make a terrible knife, right? A big lump of steel, terrible knife, right? So the form matters. If you want something to serve as a knife, you have to form it into a knife. If you want something to serve as a hammer, you have to form it into the shape of a hammer. If you want something to work as scissors, you have to form it into the shape of scissors, right? If you take this exact same metal and just use it as a blob like this, it's not going to cut paper, right? You can bludgeon paper, but you won't cut it. So form is an important part of function. Things have to have the right shape. But they also have to have the right properties, right? If you took this exact same shape, but you made it out of rubber, would it do a good job cutting paper? No is the answer I was looking for. That's correct, right? Rubber scissors don't cut paper very well, right? That's what they're going to give me when I'm old and senile, so I don't hurt myself. They'll be like, just give them the rubber scissors, and I'll be like, this won't cut my paper. Anyway, for some reason I'm going to develop an accent. I'm in the old folks' home, I'm going to be speaking with an accent, and I'm like, my rubber scissors won't cut my paper, and I'm going to be real mad about it. Anyway, enough about me being old. I can't wait to be old. I'm going to be such a great old guy. I'm going to be so miserable. Man, you think I'm miserable now? I'm going to sit on my front lawn. I'm going to attempt to cut paper with my rubber scissors, and I'm going to yell at kids to get off my lawn. That's what I'm going to do. Like, hey, you, get off my lawn! You rotten kids. Kids these days can't even make a good pair of scissors. That's what I'm going to say. Guy? Sorry? You're going to be the Monster House guy. And you'll lose your accent. Oh, but intermittently, yes. And I'll be like, kids these days. And these silly rubber scissors. I won't cut my paper. Anyway, do you know that's the all. Monster House movie? I do not. Is that a thing? It's a movie. It's a movie. Oh, no, I've never seen it. And there's basically, this house is alive because his girlfriend died when it was being built. No, my girlfriend died. I don't even have a girlfriend. No, but if I did, I have a wife. I don't want her dead. And it is very important to me that I die first. No, but this guy. Very important. Why? Are you kidding? I'm useless. So, Nana, I have no skills. There's nothing I'm good at. No skills. I would fall apart left to my own device. Do you have any idea how many people it takes to keep me functioning even this well, which we can all agree is not that well? It takes like an army of selfless people being like, Jones, come on, you gotta get moving. You're gonna be late. Joe, you're forgetting your bag. Joe, you forgot to put your computer in your bag. Joe. Yeah, so it's weird. It's weird. Here's the deal. I can run a multi-million-dollar business and balance the books and improve profitability and increase guest satisfaction and drive costs down. And all that systematic structural stuff and efficiency stuff I'm really good at. And then at the end of the night, when it's 2 a.m. and the only thing left is to lock up, often it will take me 2 hours to find my keys. I don't know why. My brain can do this part of the job, and then no matter what I do, this part of the job seems to fall apart. But yeah, I have no life skills. Also, I'd be so sad. Britt's not gonna be sad when I'm dead. Britt's gonna be relieved. She'll be sad. Obviously, she loves me, but she'll also be a little bit oh my God, I don't have to remind anyone to lock the door, or put their shoes on, or that they're forgetting things. You know what I mean? Objectively, when I die, my wife will be sad, I'm sure, because she loves me, but her life will get easier. You know? Right? And it makes me a little sad to think, man, when I die, she's going to be low-key, relieved about it. But, I'm also happy for her. She can have, and I'm probably going to, I don't take very good care of myself. I have a family history of heart attacks. She'll probably have a good, run without me, where she can just be, laid back and relaxed. And be on easy street. I'm well insured. So if I go first, she'll be a little sad, but she'll do great, right? My kids will do fine. They're self-sufficient. They're smart. Everything will be fine. She goes first, I'm going to be a disaster. And my poor kids are probably going to have to be oh my God, one of us has to go check on dad, make sure he hasn't burnt the house down. See what I'm saying? I'll be such an inconvenience to everyone. And then I'll be all sad because I'll be oh, Britt, I miss you. So nothing would be good. Nothing would be good. I'd be all upset. It's a thing. I got to go first. It's in the rule book. I don't make the rules. Anyway. Sorry? You made that rule for yourself. No, I didn't make it. Again, it's a conflict because I also have a crippling fear of dying, so I don't know how you reconcile these things. And my answer, of course, is we both just live forever as brains in jars with robot spider legs walking around. Right? Good gig. Brain in a jar, robot spider legs. It's my plan. And then I'll sit on my lawn and be hey kids, get off my lawn. Or I'll come at you with my robot spider leg. I need a laser. Robot spider legs and a laser.
Would you use the laser?
No, never. No, but to scare them, zap nearby. No, I'm a pacifist.
Cut the grass?
Yes. I hadn't thought of that till now, but obviously, clearly. Yeah.
I personally think if you die first, the world won't be as fun.
Well, thank you. That's kind of you to say. But I got news for you. Listen, I better die before all of you or something's gone horribly wrong, right? That's the way of the world, right? This is the thing. As a parent, and you guys are all kind of my kids, right? That's how it goes. Your goal is, listen, I would like to go before my wife. Again, I better go before my kids. You know what I mean? That's the way of the world. That's how it's supposed to go, right? So one day I will be gone, and you'll just have to live with the fact that the world's a little less ridiculous. Because I do bring a degree of ridiculousness to the world, right? But that's the way of it. That's how it goes. We all get some time orbit around the sun, and then you get a lot more time where you don't. And what comes after that, I couldn't tell you. But, decided to find out. So, but not too soon. But also not after the wife. Anyway, so today we're going to learn about 3 functional groups of organic compounds. And each of these has a specific form, so a specific shape, and that's going to inform its function. And it has specific chemical properties, and that's going to inform its function. Does that make sense? Those 2 things, its shape and its chemical properties, are going to mean that it does certain things. We looked yesterday and we said if you stick a fluorine or a chlorine or a bromine or an iodine onto the end, or not necessarily the end, onto somewhere on an organic compound, you create a haloalkane, but really what you're doing is you're introducing polarity, right? And you're introducing electronegativity. You're changing the properties of the thing. Something that would have been gas, will now be either a liquid or a solid. You're going to make it have stronger intermolecular forces. Something that would have been non-polar and thus not dissolved in water but would dissolve in mineral oil is now going to be reversed. It's going to be polar. It'll be miscible in water. Does that make sense? So we're changing the physical properties of a compound by changing what atoms are present and where. So we're going to learn about 3 basic groups today. And the first we want to learn about is alcohols. Okay, so an alcohol and I'm not going to show the bond between O and H. Really, technically, it would look like this, right? But we're going to say that is an alcohol group here, also sometimes called a hydroxyl group. So an alcohol has a hydroxyl group present on the chain somewhere. And I shouldn't say is, I should say has. It has a hydroxyl group somewhere on the chain. All right, and so sort of sticking with our sort of premise before, if we took the most basic compound, remind me what this is called? This is methane. And if we replace one of its hydrogens with a hydroxyl group, that means here I would put what instead? OH, right? If we add that, now that hydroxyl group will mean that this is an alcohol, right? And by virtue of being an alcohol, we will call it methane, but we drop the E, and we replace the ending with ol, O-L. So, the ol ending in a name indicates an alcohol. So, methanol, ethanol, things of this nature. Sometimes you will find legacy names present, things like isopropyl alcohol. That's not how we name things anymore. We would call that propanol, and we'd call it a specific type of propanol. We'll talk about that. Things of that nature, like you'll see pentyl alcohol sometimes. We would call that pentanol now. So the ol ending tells us it's an alcohol. So methane becomes methanol. Ethane would become ethanol. Good. Obviously, location matters. EG2, more complex. Let's look at this example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to put the alcohol up here on carbon 2. And we're going to put a methyl group there on carbon 3. You'll note that we are used to putting things that we add onto the chain where in the name? Everything we've added up to now in the name has always gone in front. 1 methyl, 2 methyl, 2 butyl, 1 chloro, 1 fluoro, right? But this is more like the ene, the double bond, or the ine, the triple bond. It affects the ending. Does that make sense? A functional group really changes the function of this, so they tack it on to the very end to really kind of make it the defining feature of the thing. Does that make sense? So this, if we go to name this, how long is the main chain here? Okay, so it's 6 long. So this is a hex, right? Specifically a hexane. But we're going to say, okay, it's not a hexane because on carbon 2 we have a hydroxyl group, which makes this an ol. And specifically, because the alcohol could be anywhere, I didn't have to put a number on methanol, but I am going to have to put a number here. This is a 2-ol. Does that make sense? And then for good measure, what do we have here? Yeah, specifically a 3-methyl. So the name of this structure then would be 3-methyl hexan 2-ol. If you look up structures, sometimes you'll get the old naming system. This is not how I was taught. I was taught that this would be called 3-methyl 2-hexanol. But they've changed IUPAC, the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Hallowed be thy name. They have changed it, and quite nicely, that the numbers just go right on the thing they're talking about, which is actually way better. Do you know what I mean? So like now, it used to be that like you'd also put double bonds and triple bonds that would go in front of the hex, and it would get very confusing what ascribed to what. Now, everything just goes right in front of what it's talking about. So if it's an alcohol on carbon 2, it's a hexan 2-ol. Does that make sense? It's actually the most clear version of that. And you can see, if you plug that into our buddy MolView, go into MolView, and we just go hexan 2-ol. You can see that it gives us a hexane, and on carbon 2, it gives us an alcohol group. Does that make sense? And actually, this was what? 3-methyl hexan 2-ol? Sorry? So that's carbon 1, that's carbon 2. On carbon 2, we have an OH. Carbon 3, we have a methyl group, and it just keeps going. Sorry? Yeah, and then over here, that's carbon 1. Oh, sorry, that's carbon 1. That's carbon 2. That's carbon 3. That's carbon 4. That's carbon 5. That's carbon 6. Off of carbon 2, we have an alcohol group. Off of carbon 3, we have a methyl group. Does that make sense? This is not how you would choose to draw that. It's a weird choice. They've started with carbon 1 way the heck up here, but that's okay. Right? I don't really know how you can rotate things here. There's got to be a way, but I don't know. I guess we could go like, whoa, whoa. But this seems like a bad idea, right? Oh, I think I killed it. I broke it. Okay. It looks good now. It's better now. Okay. Any questions about that? How's that feel? Not too bad? You may have more than one of them, and there may be double and triple bonds associated as well. So let's say example 3. Please draw 3-methyl pent 2-ene 1,4-diol. That's an annoying name, but do you see how it's all there? So, what's the main chain here? Sorry? Yeah, the main chain is pent, and then what can we say is on it? So, the main chain is 5. What else can you tell me? Sure, and where's the double bond? On carbon 2. So, double bond on 2. What else? Those 2 OH groups, 2 alcohols. Good. So those OH groups on carbon 1 and on carbon 4. And what else? And on carbon 3, those are methyl groups. So there's a 1 carbon side chain on carbon 3. Does that make sense? Right? It's a lot, like it's a big long name, but it's actually pretty simple to work your way through it if you just go slow. Right? Does that feel semi-okay? Do you find it easier being given the name and drawing it, or do you find it easier to have it drawn and name it? Interesting. I find it so much easier to draw from a name.
Yeah, I found it easier to draw.
Interesting. Isn't that funny how different people's brains work differently? Can we all try this? Take a minute. Do your best with it. Like, can you draw it as OH like that if you want? Is that what you're asking? It's still, truthfully, everything's still sp3 hybridized, right? Everything's still single bonds, unless, I mean, maybe a double bond. But again, when we draw, we're kind of simulating that sp3, but the angles are all kind of approximate. Does that make sense? You can't draw three-dimensional things in 2 dimensions, so we're just kind of suggesting the proper angles anyway. Does that answer your question? We're always kind of faking it. So use your judgment. Was that a terrible answer? I feel like that's a terrible answer. Do you find it helpful to see how I kind of broke this down, by the way? What was the first thing I looked for? Yeah. Just like when you're naming, the first thing you want to find is the main chain. When you're drawing, the first thing you want to find is, in this whole thing, what's the main chain? And it's going to be after all the groups, but before all the endings, right? So ene is an ending, diol is an ending. So what comes right before that? Pent. Methyl is a side group. So what comes after that? Pent, right? So pent is your main chain here. So the main chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is everybody comfortable with that being a 5-carbon chain? We're good with the vertices. Great. Now what do I need to start adding to this? Okay, on carbon 3, I need to add a methyl. The double bond, which lives where? Great. Now, the truth is that should change my bond angles, but I'm not going to worry about it. You know what I mean? Okay, and then what else? Yep, and they are on what? Yeah, so on 1, we get an OH, and you can kind of put it wherever you want. Well, it is important to keep in mind that if you want to do it this way, that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. Just make sure the bond is coming from what? Yeah, because the bond can't be coming from hydrogen, because hydrogen can only make one bond. So if the hydrogen is stuck to the oxygen, the hydrogen isn't also stuck to the carbon. The oxygen is stuck to the carbon. That's important. It's the oxygen that makes the bond. Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like always like a branch out, or can it be like directly on the end?
Are you asking, could you do that?
Like the first one.
No, like if you put it here, now there's no carbon there, as drawn. Do you know what I mean? Remember, like a vertex is a carbon only if there's nothing there. If I put that there, now it's not a carbon, now it's whatever G is, which by the way is nothing. So yeah, you have to put a bond to it. Absolutely. So like that. So that's carbon, and if it helps, we can number these. That's carbon 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. And what else do I need? Another oxygen hydrogen group, another alcohol group on carbon 4. And I think we hit everything, right? We have our 3-methyl group. Pent is the main chain. We have a 2-ene, and we have a 1,4-diol. And of course, yeah.
When you have like a double bond, do you assume that it's going like up? So like if it's on 2, it'll be 2 or 3?
Yes, yeah. The number tells you the first carbon that it's affecting. Excellent question. And again, never hurts to throw it into mole view. This definitely will not be in its database, but if we punch the name in right, it should be able to draw it just by virtue of being able to follow the rules, just like you can. So 3-methyl pent, what was it, 2-ene? 2-ene 1,4-diol. And again, I can't stress enough, this isn't in their database. It's just doing the same thing we're doing. It's following the rules. I hate the way it's chosen to draw it, right? I would probably do a little bit of this at least, right? Like just to kind of try and make it a little bit approachable. I've made that worse somehow. Boy, I hate this, but that's okay. Let's just look here. There's carbon 1, right? And it's got an OH group. Carbon 2 has a double bond to carbon 3, which has a methyl group, which goes to carbon 4, which has an OH group, which goes to carbon 5, which has nothing. Can we see that? So there's the actual structure. And, sorry? That's right. Red is oxygen by convention. And you'll note where it's sp2 hybridized, because we have a pi bond from each of these, it flattens right out. So this section of the molecule is flat, even though the molecule on the whole is not. Now, an OH group is going to give us what kind of bonding present in this? Anytime you have a bond between O and H, hydrogen bonding, which is a strong bond. This is going to make this polar. It's going to make it miscible in water, right? It's going to change the structure of the thing. OH groups are polar. They can be classified 3 ways. And this classification is actually going to make a lot of sense. Sometimes we will have, I'm going to do this, carbon, carbon, carbon. Okay, here we go. The OH might be on a terminal carbon. In other words, it might be on the end of a chain. In that case, we call this a primary alcohol. Why would I do that and not just put it in front? Anyone? And that's because the carbon that it's attached to is only attached to one other carbon. That's the official definition. So we say it's a first order connection. But basically, if it's on the end of the chain, either end, keep in mind, we call it a primary alcohol. What do you suppose is a secondary alcohol then? Yeah, if it's inside the chain. So if you look here, if we put it in the middle of the chain, so if we build that same basic molecule, and all the hydrogens or all the carbons are going to make all the bonds they need, but if now instead the OH group is coming off of that carbon, well now that carbon is connected to 2 other carbons, not just one other carbon. It's in the middle of the chain, so we call that a secondary alcohol. Could you have a tertiary alcohol? Good thinking, but no, a tertiary alcohol actually is when the carbon it's connected to is connected to 3 other carbons. Does that make sense? Really what we're counting here is the carbon that it's connected to, how many carbons is it bound to? This carbon is bound to 1 other carbon. Do you see that? Bound to that one. This carbon, on the other hand, is bound to 2 other carbons. Do I answer?
Do it.
Hello? Hello? Oh, I bet I am. Guys, it's Amazon customer service, and I have a refund. I have a refund.
Whoa.
I hung up, but presumably all they need is my banking information. And boy, if I weren't teaching, I definitely would have given it to them. Because then I could get my refund.
You should have done like a little prank call saying that we're dissecting you.
No, I'm good. Thank you. Okay, so in a tertiary alcohol, that would be where the carbon that is connected to the OH is itself connected to 3 other carbons. In other words, it's going to have to be at a branch point. Does that make sense? If you look here, when it happens to be on a carbon that also has a methyl group on it, or an ethyl group, or a propyl group, or a butyl group, or whatever, if it's at a branch point, then we would call that a tertiary alcohol. So here we would say it's on the end of chain. Here we would say it's inside the chain. Why don't I just, oh, that was terrible. Guys, that was terrible. And on a branching carbon. By the way, you could name all 3 of these. Do I have time? Yeah, we have time. No, we don't have time. Yeah. It's still an alcohol. Obviously, it matters. Like, that would change the structure, but it would still be an alcohol. Did that answer your question? It was a good question. I don't actually want this highlighting here. I want it in the moment, but I don't want it in perpetuity. If that makes sense. Okay, questions about that? Really quickly, what would the name of the top one be? Would it be 3-propanol? First of all, would we put the 3 out in front? So it'd be propan-3-ol, right? Secondly, is 3 the best way to number that? What's the best way to number it? Yeah. So this one we'd call propan-1-ol, right? This would be propan-1-ol. What would this one be? Propan-2-ol. What would this one be? This is still propan-2-ol, but now it's a 2-methyl propan-2-ol, right? Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Sure. So this one, we're saying the main chain is 3 carbons long. So that makes it a propane, because 1 carbon's a methane, 2 is ethane, 3 is propane. So it's a propane. And then on the second carbon, we have an alcohol. So that makes it a propan-2-ol. And then the third thing we're saying is it also has this extra carbon side chain. And because it's only 1 carbon long, that's a methyl group. Methane, but as a side chain, methyl. And it's on the second carbon as well. So 2-methyl propan-2-ol. On the second carbon, put a methyl. The main chain is a propan. And on the second carbon, put an alcohol. Is that cool? Awesome. And again, this takes some practice, guys. So if you're a little bit shaky, that's okay. Again, second year organic chemistry, 17% on the final. I respect shaky. Yeah, Walton.
You count it basically, so for like a primary alcohol, it's the number of carbons connected to the carbon that is connected to the O.
That's right.
Okay.
Though it's also just like, if it's on the end, it's primary. If it's in the middle, it's secondary. If it's on branching carbon, it's tertiary. Whichever of those is easier for you to work with. Some people are very analytical and the number thing is better for them. Awesome. Some people are more visual and it's like, on the end is primary, cool, got it. Inside is secondary, got it. Inside and there's a branch is tertiary, cool. Right? Whichever of those makes sense for you. What did they say 3 years ago? That can make me sound semi-current. Slay queen, ? I don't know. Let's move on. Shut up. Don't judge me. Quiet. I may not know how to do that, but I know how to throw a stapler. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Throw a stapler with the best of them. All right. Now, we'll get into this later, but the main thing to note, alcohol groups give hydrogen bonds. Therefore, polar, right? The most important thing an alcohol group does is it makes these compounds highly polar, soluble in water, right? It's also going to make them way, so polar, but also liquid versus gas, right? Methane is a gas, but methanol is a liquid. Ethane is a gas, but ethanol is a liquid. Propane is a gas, but propanol is a liquid, right? Because that hydrogen bonding gives it stronger intermolecular bonds. And as you all know, because you did your intermolecular forces lesson, if those hydrogen bonds are present, that means stronger bonds between the molecules, and that means that they're going to have a lower melting point. A higher melting point, a higher boiling point, all those things, right? So you're going to have them be solider, generally speaking, right? They will be less gaseous at equivalent temperatures. Questions about that? If not, we're going to move on to the second one. Time waits for no man. Next, aldehydes. Aldehydes. Yes, true. That's true. An aldehyde group. No, you're good. Is a double bond to oxygen. All right? Double bond to oxygen on a terminal carbon. What does terminal mean? Huh? Yeah, exactly right. Yep. The first or last. The end. The alpha or the omega. The end. The outside. Whatever word you want to use, right? If you think on the bus terminal, it's where the bus starts and it's where the bus ends, right? It's not the stops in the middle. It's the ends.
If someone's terminal, they're about to die.
Oh, wow, that got dark. But yes. I see, look at me. I was like, it's like riding the bus. And Kate was like, it's like dying. It's like death. But you're correct. Yes. We talked about terminal. You terminate something, you end it, right? So what's your question?
Sorry, I must be seeing you.
Sam, could you just stop wasting people's time? Good God. Man alive. All right, so let's take a look. So we'll go back to our basic, which is methane. All right, methane. And if you've never heard me rant about it, you know that the greatest city in the world is? Buffalo is correct. Thank you. And if you don't know anything about Buffalo, you should know one thing, which is they have the most wonderful accent. The Western New York accent is special. It's special. And I like that they have this kind of, it's not Southern twangy, it's Western New York twangy. They like to put a little mustard on, a little mustard on the sandwich, if you know what I'm saying. The little ham sandwich there, a little bit of mustard, because they say, like, for example, you would say, oh, how much is that ham sandwich with mustard? And you'd say, oh, $5. But they don't. They say $5, and they've got this there's this that sound, which you might think is unappealing, but I think is heavenly. $5. And they talk about things like that. They talk about going to Tops Market and you can get milk for milk. They say milk with a weird milk. It's got but dollars. Okay, that's going to be helpful because the ending on this sucks. All right, ready? What was the ending for alcohols again? All. Okay, great.
Wow.
Now, what's the ending for an aldehyde? If we do this, if we turn this into a double bond to oxygen, first of all, we'll obviously only have 2 hydrogens now because 2 of the bonds are being made to oxygen. But this would be methanal. And you have to make sure that sounds different than methanol. And the best way, like anything else in life, the best way to handle that is being from Buffalo. Because methanol, or that'll be methanal, al. Really put, like I'm saying, you got to enunciate. Does that make sense? Methanal. Now, here's the nice thing. No numbers needed. No numbers needed. We don't need to locate an aldehyde because where does it have to be? It's always on carbon 1. And if there's 2 of them, it's always on the first carbon and the last carbon. So you never have to locate them. You never use a number. So they're nice and easy. They never have to be located.
If it's on both, would you say
A dial.
no, like one and
Not even. You just say methane wouldn't make sense. Don't draw this. But if you had this, which you could, right? That could be a structure. That would be ethanediol.
how would they know if it's on the first or last one if it's just one?
Because by default, you're always going to start numbering there.
Okay.
Yeah, your functional group takes priority. Great question. It is more important to give a functional group a low number than to give anything else a low number. Good question. So this would be ethanediol. But yeah, you never need to locate them because it's always on the end. It's on carbon 1 or first and last. Sorry? Sorry, what's that? So Nana, like you and Sam starting a club? The time waste brigade? You're gonna get patches made? Little patches, you can put them on your jackets. You're like, we waste time in Orlando's class. Not him, he's always focused. Everything he says is on point. on message and useful for education. And then we have to go say things that just waste time. Like, oh, your one looks like an L and it objectively doesn't. Or, oh, you're missing letters in a word that obviously have them. Anyway, can we focus in? God, the disrespect. Times like this, I regret not taking up my first love, which was, of course, gymnastics. That's not true. I've never done gymnastics, but I imagine that it would end very badly for me very quickly. It's actually not true. I guess I did do gymnastics. When I was in elementary school, we had to. Did you have to do like the balance beam and like the bars and stuff? Yeah, we had to do that. I didn't do well. You never had to do the balance beam in school? Did you actually not? And you have to like walk across it, and then you have to like dip your leg down and do things, and like have to kneel down.
I didn't do elementary.
What's a balance beam? Because we had to do gymnastics in elementary school. We did my elementary school.
Did cartwheels at recess, but like
we also did cartwheels. Yes, you can do two things. You can do gymnastics and cartwheels.
cartwheels are gymnastics.
Well, I guess, but anyway.
I took classes.
Oh, there you go. I did not. I used to be able to do a cartwheel. If I attempted to do a cartwheel now, how many bones do you think I would break? Over or under? 3? Would I break 3? I think I'd break 3. You think 10? You think I would break 10 bones? All right. 4. I was thinking the other day, I used to do fingertip push-ups, and I think if I tried to do a fingertip push-up now, I would do a fingertip, break all my fingertips. That's what would happen now. Anyway.
That wouldn't be that much different, though, would it? Like,
I don't know what you mean.
Like, from a normal push-up.
Can you do a fingertip push-up? Go.
Five fingers
Yeah, to start, and then you start taking them up. Come on, let's go. Let's see it. Go. Yeah, there you go. You got. Good, nice, good form. Yeah, okay, get that butt down and come on, get your chest to the floor. Come on, back down, chest to the floor. Let's go. Are you 42 and out of shape? That's pretty good. Well done. All right, now lift up a finger.
A lip?
Yeah, lift one up.
Okay, never mind, I'm good.
Index up. Okay, anyway, that was good though. That was impressive. Yeah, again, if I did that, what you would see is, then you would hear 10 individual cracking sounds as 10 fingers broke, one at a time.
They crack one at a time.
I think so. I think the pinky probably goes first, and then I think like they'd go like, whoop. It'd be like a xylophone kind of thing. You'd hear them like, woo, and then you'd hear me go like, ah. That's what you'd hear. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So let's just do a couple examples just to make sure we got it. So let's do, I don't know. What do I want? Five. Okay, go with that. I want a name for that, please. And obviously, what side are we going to start numbering from here?
The right side.
Why?
Because it has an O on the first.
We're going to prioritize that functional group, right? Good. Okay, name that. Yep, they haven't changed. Yep, they still haven't changed. That is still a methyl group on carbon 2, right? So this would be a 2-methyl. And what would this be? 3-ethyl, yeah. No, pentan. The only thing you drop is the E, so pentane becomes pentan.
Isn't it
You got
pentan 2 methan 3?
No, those go in front. Yeah, so the main chain is a pentane, right? So the main chain is pentane. We're going to drop that E because this makes it an aldehyde, right? Okay, somebody want to give this? 3-ethyl. 3-ethyl. 2-methyl. Pent. And now. All right, and again, that ending there, al, indicates the presence of an aldehyde. Obviously, I could have put a double bond somewhere. It could be a pent 3-ene al or something like that, right? Nothing stopping that. A note. You may have, when aldehydes are present, name alcohols as hydroxy subgroups. In other words, an aldehyde is a more important functional group than an alcohol, so we're no longer going to name this an all if there's an aldehyde present. We'll just call the alcohol a side chain of hydroxy, and I'll show you what that means. Just give me a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to give this a double bond to oxygen at the start. So this is going to be an aldehyde. But then we're going to give it an alcohol group as well. Normally, you would call this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'd call this a hexan 1, 2, 3-ol. Right? Does that make sense? You'd call this hexan 3-ol. But we're not going to do that because it's got two functional groups. It's a 3-ol and it's an aldehyde, right? And the way they handle that is they say, this is less important, we're going to put it out in front. Does that make sense? So if you've got more than one functional group, alcohols get treated out in front, and they get named hydroxy. So this, only if there's another functional group present. If this were the only functional group, we would call this an alcohol. But instead, we're going to call this a 3-hydroxy. This is going to give us that al ending. And the main chain was how long again? Hexane. So altogether, the name for this will be 3-hydroxy. Nope, not pent. No, hydroxy. I just am messy. Hexan al. All right? That tells us it's an aldehyde. And that tells us where the alcohol group is. So where you have alcohols and aldehydes together, aldehydes are going to take naming priority. And look here, that's a phrase you're going to hear. Aldehydes have naming priority over alcohols. So when they're both present, we treat the aldehyde as the functional group, and now we just treat the alcohol as another thing that's attached to the chain. And things that are attached to the chain go out in front. Does that make sense? Is that okay? Is that not too bad? Just bad enough? Dihydroxy. Dihydroxy. Yep, that's exactly right.
Does the H and the OH now become an ethanoic?
We're not going there today. We will go there. We're not going there today if they're on the same carbon. But we're not going there today.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because after ethanoic comes esters.
Yeah.
And that's when we do the lab.
Yeah, exactly right. All right. Third thing we're going to look at today, we're almost done, are ketones. And a ketone is just the same thing as an aldehyde, only it's inside the chain. I guess you could think of it as a secondary aldehyde, but it gets its own name. A ketone is a double bond to oxygen inside on an inside carbon. Speaking.
When I went to fill up my water bottle, I tried the push-ups again. I got to like 2 fingers.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Well done.
Britain was there for proof if you needed it.
Good for you.
2. I got to these ones, and then like I did 1. But then I
That's
couldn't
pretty good.
fuck up.
Can you do the clap? Don't try it now because you can smash your face. Try it on a nice soft floor to start with. Carpet is good. But that's where you push up and you push up enough that you get air and then you clap and you go back down. I could never do the clap. My dad is like a 60... How old's my dad now? 66. And he has like terminal lung cancer and he can still do clap push-ups and it makes me so jealous. I'm like, oh, I should have like... What's that thing people do? Exercise? I should have done that. That's what I should have done. It's this thing, people like, they like lift up heavy stuff and they put it down and they lift it up again and they put it down and they lift it up and they put it down and they walk but they literally go nowhere. Literally when you describe exercising, it sounds like every ancient description of like punishment in the afterlife for a life poorly led. Like what is the gym but a Sisyphean task, right? Like this is the thing that I just don't understand. I watch people do this and like, it's a beautiful day out. It'll be like a gorgeous day. And I'll be leaving East Hill and I just see people inside in a dreary, humid space, just lifting heavy things, putting them down. Lifting heavy things, putting them down. They're grunting and they're sweating. And I just think like, go meet a chipmunk. Like just, I don't get it. And this is why I will never be in good shape. Because I think like you could just be walking, you could go walk outside right now and there are chipmunks and you could see one of them. And you could watch it be like all adorable. And then there's like a squirrel and there's trees and you could climb a tree. You could climb a tree for God's sakes. When's the last time you climbed a tree? I love climbing trees. You see what I'm saying?
We would climb trees
Yes!
as a kid, and then we would get in
Like
trouble
often?
by our co-op person.
Yes. Do you not?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever like actually climbed.
What?
I'm too
That
afraid
was
to
so
fall down and,
loud.
like, break my back.
You what? Guys, are you being serious right now?
Okay.
Go climb a tree. It's like the most beautiful place in the world to go read. Get a book, put it in your backpack, go climb a tree. Take like a water bottle, take an apple or a sandwich, or if it's an apple tree, don't take an apple and just have one.
Apple tree in my back.
Right? This is what I'm saying. Go climb a tree and then lie in it and read. It is heaven. This is like literally my description of like.
Why would you could read in a tree with the elements and bugs, or you could read in the safety of your own home. In a chair. In like actually like what is hot out?
What if it's hot out?
You have to climb all the way back behind the tree and climb all the way back and like sit in your little branch with a book. No book is good enough to read the tree.
Why are you...
Not good enough to read the tree.
That's the definition of different generations.
It's not even. It's not different generations. It's different personalities. And that's what makes life beautiful. Because I see people in the gym and I think like Sisyphus, like pushing the rock up the hill and it falls back down and repeating. And you are taking like a crucifixion metaphor to like being in a tree. And you just realize that different people find different things torturous. You know? You know what I'm saying? I want to see a chipmunk and maybe you're afraid of chipmunks. I don't know. But the point, are you actually? They're like this big. And they immediately run away. And they're adorable. They're so cute. You don't like them. Interesting. Anyway, I have on my nightly walk, I have a pack of coyotes that just hang out in the park I walk in. And like they've never bugged me, you know, and I don't bug them. And I don't take my dog for walks in the park after because they're usually out by about midnight. So I just don't want the hassle of my dog attempting to attack a pack of coyotes and then getting killed.
Wait, have you actually seen them?
Oh yeah, no, they live in the creek in my backyard. So I live in the city. I do not live in the country. But about 10 years ago, they closed the GM plant just down the street from my house. And so for about a year and a half, we had a horrible rat problem. And it was awful. It was awful. I had rat traps set up all over my property. And I was getting rats every day. It was horrible. And then we didn't have a rat problem. And it was man, I wonder what happened. And then I started discovering that every night when I went for a walk, I would see coyotes. And there were so many of them. You can sit on my front porch and right around sundown, they'll start coming out of the creek because they sleep during the day. And they'll come out of the creek and they come up and they walk to the park. So they literally come up and they go past my front yard. And there's all these people who come photograph them. And that's what I find neat, is some people come and they're like, oh my God, it's the coyotes, and they come photograph them. And then some people will like come running down the street and be like, there's coyotes! And I'm like, I know, I see them every day. But the point, people like different things. Some people like lifting heavy things up and then putting them down, and lifting heavy things up and putting them down, and then repeat and repeat and repeat. And those people have like big muscles and a lot of Instagram followers, I assume. But I like climbing trees and looking at squirrels. And that's why different people like different things. Anyway. And I'm afraid of heights, but there's something about a tree. I don't find it scary. It's just lovely. It's lovely being in a tree. What?
No, there's grass. That's why you won't be great trees. You fall in.
Yeah, that's true. I've fallen out of a tree and like, yeah, you get bruised up a bit, but you're not gonna like.
Fall from a building, you like brace.
I mean, I was on a job site and my buddy Wayne fell off a ladder and died. Right? So that was scary. That was not
But,
good.
like, why
Yeah,
climbing
no,
trees that tall?
it was
Just
horrible.
I mean, like Creighton, like the tree outside Creighton's house is nice to climb because it's not that tall. There's like a little, like it like splits off and you just sit there.
Yeah, those ones with low branches are nice,
Yeah.
right? That aren't a lot of work to get into.
I
Yeah.
come to this guy's house at midnight and just
I
read books.
use my bike.
That is
I like it. Anyway, I do want to get to name these, so let's get that. So, for example, you can't have a methanone, not possible, because that can't be on the inside of a chain. And you can't have an ethanone, because again, there's no inside of the chain. So the smallest possible ketone is propane, would be the equivalent, right? So if we have propane, right? That would be propane. Well, this is propane.
Can it not be like a pentane?
It totally could. We'll get there. Yep, totally could. Totally could. That would be, what would this be called? Propanone. That's the only one that doesn't require a number. And why doesn't this require a number? Because there's only one place you could put, the double bond oxygen for it to be inside the chain. So this is propanone. So and it's not one. This is not propan one. It's propanone. Propanone. Yeah, so all you drop is the E on propane. Whenever you do any functional group, the only thing you drop is the E. So propane becomes propan, whatever the functional group is. Hexane becomes hexan, all, al, one, whatever, right? So let's try a slightly more complicated one. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to put the double bond oxygen here. What would that be called? Sorry? Yeah, but again, where's that number going to go? In modern IUPAC, it goes right with the thing. So it would be hexan all the way with the thing. Hexan, 3 ohm. Yeah. Is that comfortable? Main chain is 6, so it's a hexane. On carbon number 3, we have a ketone, so it's hexan, 3 ohm. Let's try another one. Okay, let's try that again. I want you to draw this 4-hydroxy, which tells you again that ketones also have naming priority over alcohols. Let's make sure this is possible. Yeah, that'll be possible. For hydroxy pent 3-ene-2-one. What's the main chain on this one? Pentane. Good. Pentene. Where's the double bond located? 3 to 4. What's on carbon 4 as well? Which is an OH group. And there's a 2-one, which means on carbon 2 there is a... Yep, very good, which is a double bond oxygen, right? Oh, my goodness. So I want you to draw 4-hydroxypent-3-ene-2-one.
Good morning, Nico. On today's cafeteria menu, we have turkey vegetable soup for $2.
Oh, we're back to Aiden.
Salad for $5, and today's main entree is grilled cheese for $3, and you can get that with fries for $5, poutine for $6, and pizza for $2 a slice. We also have chicken pizza for $3. We also have chocolate dip parfaits Sundays for $7, and lemon parfaits as well. That's on today's cafeteria menu. Make it a great day, Eagles.
Yeah, school on Sunday.
Oh.
Oh, Sunday. How's this work? Wait, what's the
Hannah and Dylan will be back next week.
Sorry?
Hannah and Dylan will be back next week. They come back on the 10th.
What just happened? What? Like I feel like I was just.
Those meetings are so awkward.
What meetings? What was that? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to immediately stop being critical then. But in the meantime, yeah. But like, could you, and listen, I can never understand, but could you guys understand that?
No.
I just heard a lot of sort of, BSA. Well, that makes sense.
BSA.
Like USA, but with a B.
Yeah.
Got it. Speaking of which, anyone see that Jays game yesterday?
No.
Awful.
I stopped watching it at half.
Yeah, it was awful. Awful. A 6-1 lead. How do you blow a 6-1 lead? Well, by having a complete defensive collapse. That's how. Anyway, how's this going to look? It's not as stressful as it looks, right? Our main chain is going to be 5 carbons long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just go. 4-hydroxy means on carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, we put what group? OH. It's a 3-ene, which means on carbon 1, 2, 3, we make a double bond. And hopefully I haven't cheated here. Is this possible? 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds there. Yep, that's still possible. And then on carbon 2, we put a ketone. That's all. That's that structure. How's that feel, guys? All right. I have some homework for you. I will post it on. I'll post it on the old OneNote. You can take a picture of it now if you prefer that. Give me a second. I will copy and paste it. Speaking.
I like the written notes.
Yeah, the written notes take a little longer, but I think they're good. That's my hot take. I try to mix it up. I try to do both.
I end up being able to make notes that I'm not able to make otherwise.
What I like about it is if people are getting things, I can just run through it. And if something's tricky and we need a bit more practice, then we can...
Yeah, like that. I
Oh, yeah.
all my notes like crazy. All the
Okay, guys, look! Shh! Hey! There's some homework there. Make sure you get it done. It won't take you long. You can take a picture of it here. It's on the OneNote. But it won't take you long, but it's important. You got to be good at this.
It's just these five?
Yeah.
Yeah, like something I do at history I found is like with all those like structures, I highlight where the name comes from for each
Yeah,
one.
well, that's the key, right?
A little strawberry.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting like a 500
$30?
Sure.
How did the bills get split
It made me very sad. That was just you made me better. You can't be losing the chance. I know. You guys are having a rough few years, but you'll get there.
Oh, no, we won't actually. No. Another 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm a Bills fan, so I think in decades.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything else.
Okay.
So hear me out.
Okay.
A bottle dance. So like when I say bottle dance, I mean like out of like all different types of bottle dance. What do you think?
I think that's a fun idea. I also think that it would be hard
Come on, show me. Puzzle balls? Yep. Of course.
Wait, did you get a light silver party? Yay! Really? That would be amazing.
I tell you, you notice the difference when you're back in the You notice the difference when you're back in the outside. You get it. The boy is good at what he does.
Okay, somebody like squeezed in the word parfaits, and I swear, and also with the glare of taking a picture of Anna's phone because she had to quickly run out. It literally looked like paninis, and I was like, "There's no way there are chocolate whatever paninis. This has to be parfaits." So I said it, and then I'm like, "Oh no." Anyway, that's fine.
How you doing, dude? Were you away biotest day? How do you feel about this? Yeah, you bet. Was that cool? That's How's your morning? Well, unintentionally a very effective welding job. It's unfortunate though.
What's this guy doing?
He's probably in.
I was expecting to see a run from. Orange. Bye, Catherine. Bye.
So it's just that was yeah. That was easier. No, but do you know what I mean? Is that a problem? No, like it's not rushing. Like you feel like it's like cool. And you just wonder it's sweet. The one. Especially with the top soup. Or like tea.
Oh, you already, oh, yes.
Heard there were free juice boxes. Oh, no, that's the time.
You said go to the.
Well, I never was on this.
Perfect, so they're like.
Yeah.
Good.
I didn't know they were No, we're at that's hard. Yeah, we do. Yeah, but you have it. No, I was just. Oh, did you just go? Yeah, this is my last part. What was it? I just Oh no, I had these. Thank you. It's alright. Oh. I'm going inside. Oh, I didn't even know you needed orange. You can go. That's hard.
You'll remember real fast. There's so many black in there. Because we're kind of also stuck. Are you fine with being with people? Are you sure? No, not my dad. Because like that's not out of character, but like.
Thank you. That's hard. That's all I can do. Can you not pick up? Why don't you?
Yeah. It was
Anyway, yeah, so she did Molly, so didn't know what Molly was.
That's really fun.
Oh. She didn't know you doing Molly then. But she's like ratchet. She was like, you know, like those like family friends that like are basically siblings who do baseball who are raised together. So she's like that, but then she's like looking insane. From when I was just kind of like, well, her the problem is like her mom had her when she was like 17, doesn't know her dad, and I'm also married to this dude, and like she has two other siblings that are like her half siblings. And like they're chill and whatever. Then her mom just like refuses to do other things, like she's just like having sex. They made me for like a sex toy. Like they made me be like,
Is she your age?
she's a year young. Like, and so yeah, they refuse to like, and then they're like spying. So they're just like kind of batshit and bad parents, but also at the same time, their youngest son is having like seizures all the time. They don't know why, so like they're dealing with that, and then she's just going insane. So they like have to deal with it, but I don't really want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
So it's like just bad.
It's just not a great situation, and so it's just weird because it's like yeah, we're basically just going insane, and they're gonna come out and it's like, oh, we're like day drinking. That's cool. Yeah, and she was giving me like a face, and she was like, yeah, like, unless I think it might be fairly strategic. And they gave her Ritzy shorts, and she's really excited because she's like, yeah, they're way better than the shorts I do. I was like, oh, lovely. Like his butt. Like his butt. It's too long. I like long nails.
Oh my god, it's bananas too.
Yeah.
I think you should hear.
I mean, is it just long or is it finding this? No, just.
I love it. Like I wish
it's really ugly, so you're gonna give it to Sammy. Because like he has to cherish it because like I made it, so like how stupid. I don't know. We have to get to the part where also brushing my teeth.
And I have like
Like, not to judge people, like, sewing is like what I do. It's like, this is disciplining with my sewing.
okay, well, you're like you're welcome.
It is a little weird. I don't know, like, I think I might taper them like this, though. It's kind of like other thing I'm going to say, maybe like, it's cute. And then, I just keep telling him that, like, when we were a lot of things possible. One of them, I was going to make a list of problems, because he's not allowed to. So then I told the robot to go back and do it, and then I was like, that's pretty hard. So I just like glue a picture of him to his wallet, so it's basically I'm securing that. Not that he won't have to, if he ever changes his mind, probably the trick. It's just like, so I just lay on the ground partial. I don't want to do something else, so I really make sure that this one sticks. So I got it from my friend who's really reaches. Yeah. You just
Where are you going next? Sorry.
He's up in London? Yeah.
I don't know where it is, but they're like besties now. Really good action. Yeah, he's just like joking.
Like getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Oh, those are on their pens. These are
You did?
and then they go away with like hot water. Kind of. Very good anymore. It's like yeah, and then like you can get rid of it with hot water. And so then you can draw designs and like making patterns. It's like kind of like chalk, but it like stays better, so it's good for embroidery projects because you touch it all the time, so chalk will go away and you just have to wash it out. Also decided you should join the film club with me because I might have
I literally was like, I keep missing the days because I was so mad.
it's always Tuesday.
Always Tuesday.
Always Tuesday.
Because I was planning on it and I just
Then you were also sick.
yeah.
Yeah. My dad was trying to really difficult to like just partially for recruitment reasons. I also got like a good take it. You get juice boxes and hair. We have juice boxes for this one. I think there are more people that buy good snacks and
Yeah.
they buy them for cheap. But like actually we watched a really good movie last night. It was called The Game. It was like it's like a mystery. It's not just like psychological thrillers. The next one is so good. It's called Insomnia. It's such a good movie. You'll really like it. And then there's another one called Taking It like a 9. It's Take This a Minute. It's a new website. It's I'm not gonna remember it. It's really good.
Have you seen all
I've seen those two. And this one I watched last night. I had one from before. It was very good. So I can't tell you if the other ones are good, but they're probably good. As much as I hate to admit it, my father has good movie taste. And so, you know, I argue and I want to watch like a dumb movie, and then he's like, I'm going to watch this one movie. It's not and then he leaves too, and I just watch it. We would go over class thinking the same movies with the same type of song, and so I just feel like my song might be very nice compared to her. She was overstuffed. She overstuffed. Yeah. She overstuffed her. So when you come and take a look, because it's actually hilarious how massive this song is. Like mine, I had to actually put more stuff in mine. You can see he's cut it. I'm just gonna also like, I was also feeling a bit inadequate after I talked to her sister that I had stuff. Totally. Having to be honest, was for a little bit useful. But the blood is really going. Bella made like a cat one and I was like, oh, cool. So like mine's banana. So I was like, okay, mine will work the same like cat. Well, like it's banana.
Okay, well, let's see.
Well, I will say like the other sauce. Like I like the chicken. Chicken sauce. Like a lot of them are like really intricate designs. I guess now again like you can see them all the time. There's just like these like big intricate ones. It's like Italian. You can see that. It's just gonna look like.
Yeah, I like that.
And then the design is so small.
Thank you.
That's those like little hats on my dog. As long as being especially loud. Yeah. I'm just saying, it's the same. Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's on Sunday, which is like they want to because she can't drink anymore, she's like dying of schizophrenic. She drinks, she can like go insane, which is crazy. And it's a Sunday. I wasn't telling last Halloween. Like, it wasn't a problem.
We've all been.
But like, I wasn't really causing problems. Just my little my friends invited me to a college party, and I'm very excited. So we have plans to go to outside and have a party. And then we have a second party on Saturday. Yeah, my birthday party was like, we sat in my backyard. That was my party. Oh, I like that. Wait, I need to share this with you from time to time. I don't know where I said it. But apparently, like, China is like asking me to invite like Devin and Dylan to the Halloween party. Because like he wants to talk to them. And he's like, oh, like, she's gonna try to invite Sam. You can probably invite Sam. I don't know. Like, you can invite Sam. He did say, but this is where I was eventually getting, which is, he didn't say a single word to saying, you are something to Devin. Yeah. He only ever talked to Devin over that one root time, I'm pretty sure. But he hasn't hung out with them.
And like, not to
So like, he didn't talk to them.
not to this at all, but like, whenever, like, when you're going to like,
So like,
it was never.
because Sam is a silly Billy and wanted to talk to him. And like, they schemed and apparently they're taking me and whoever don't talk to him. They're going to like La La Land. Yeah. So like, you know, they're like chit chatting and being funny and like talking. And he did not say a word. Even like a parent does to their child. And he didn't go talk. But you want to run to where you're also not going to talk to him? That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I just thought that you should get it because it would.
No, yeah, I guess yeah, like after.
Also, you guys are barely together. You are
Restless right now, so I'm
It's so that's interesting. How did you read it? Like, she's trying to explain it to you the other day, and I was like, it was actually pretty good. I was confused. She, in fact, is She did not.
That's like what I was thinking. Like, why are you staring at me while eating the sandwich? Like, you're very
Like, we did talk about it. We did the first two in the afternoon. I had a little bit of just like, yeah. Which is like that. That was a good one. Did he talk to anybody? No. Like, Dylan invited us. He's just weird. Like, they're both fine with camera. After the camera gets down a little bit, and like,
stare at me.
like this way, and like stand up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But like, you're not that way. Like, you don't suck. Exactly. You know, always bad for it. Like, do like you confuse one.
Yeah.
I'm just like, get the chance to say a little worried. Wondering what's going on. Yeah. That the ears do not look right. They need to be small. Oh, Sam, I heard that you volunteered that I was gonna make you a soft monkey. Okay, because that's what Mrs. B was saying. She was like, I have the socks for Sam so you can make her a soft monkey. Pardon? Yeah. And she's gonna keep your socks. So I was like, it was very weird. Where should I apply to it? I feel like here is really good. Yeah. There's one class that genuinely has one jobs here. And I'm like not sure but it was weird. There's like one here and then like one here.
That doesn't look good. Somehow I can't judge. Somehow
Also, Sam, look how aggressively long my hair ended up out.
were you just like slight?
I have she cut it for me.
Oh.
And then cut it like this. And I feel like it's a bit much.
Well, when it sits down,
Here, wait. I was doing the butt. You saw the butt.
Because Hannah didn't
you did through the door.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, my beads.
my place had me fucking
I'll be right back.
You know what? Should I do it on belly button? Like put a button on the belly? Oh my god! Yeah, belly button. I don't have a button in my bag, so I'm gonna have to steal her button.
Stop staring at me.
Sorry that you don't appreciate women in college. Oh, still brown button? No, hey, wait, I actually lied to right.
Have the back now or
No. I'm gonna finish it today and watch what you can start. I kind of want to just go to a giant shower then or something though and just buy bias too. Like already has clean edges, so I don't have to yeah. I'm gonna get to I would look like compared to about bias. I know. Me too. I think that would kind of hack my legs. Just get
How are you doing, team? Alright. How you doing? Let's go. Duet? Ready? Chaotic, but I like it. Some jazz.
I like jazz.
I just tripped over the ladder.
I'm sorry, you okay?
I just thought I should not do that.
What? Yeah, I'm sorry for tripping.
It's all your fault. I like the funny pajamas.
You just bring out my purple notebook and the rest of it. Purple notebook and pencils.
That works as long as you're not going to get cut off on
That's
the
what we're like. It's kind of.
Did you do something else for the screen? Yes. Oh, Richard. Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, great. Oh, yeah. Today. Give me a second to think. Give me a second to think.
I found this under my table.